this one, but we'll start it. I had to let my computer breathe for a moment while oh, look at my CPU just spiked right back up. That's cool. It's fun. I'm excited to do this, to be able to put videos up, or not just the VODs on Twitch, but also have, if the VODs, if I re-uploaded, would be 936p, but to have the full 1440p, what I'm seeing as casting, to be able to put that up. I'm really excited to be able to do that.
Right.
If I don't kill my CPU in the process. And I get to learn video editing, so that'll be good. But anyway, we do have the predictions up for folks who are looking to try to, you know, get a little bit of prediction action in here, trying to make it, I'm not going to say a little, you know, interesting, because it's always going to be interesting. It's a tier 3 matchup, 2v2. We saw the first series went all the way to game number 5, and even then, very close towards the end. It's very, very solid. I'm going to make sure the stream info is correct. And it looks to be good. I have tagged both of the captains in the IGL Discord, as you do see player James and Drinkin coming on into the lobby. Brojack can. Nobody else can.
I could if I had the game up.
Brojack,
It's my main monitor.
We're trying to be professionals.
I am pulling up more stats. There's actually no stats to look at, so that's a lie.
You can look up stats in the background while I run the production. So it's good balance. If I knew what I was doing and I was better at it, then it'd be even more balanced. All right, chat, we do have one of the teams in the lobby. Gonna double check that peeps are on a line. So we do have, just confirming that folks are online or be able to respond. I did have a, okay, we'll have to make sure, 1 sec.
Real fast, while you figure out your production things, Gator, looking ahead,
We're making sure we have
next match.
Cross-platform on.
There we go. Looking ahead at the next match after this as well, I do have experience casting one of those teams. And then Gator, I have a sneaking suspicion that you might have casted the other team as well.
I don't know why you would suspicion that.
I don't know. Do you like watermelons?
I'm a fan of them. Yes, this is one of the Melon Patch teams against Big Dreams in the next match as well. It'll be a tier 2 2v2 matchup. That one's slated to start an hour from now. We are just double checking everything is good to go. Like I said, making sure that the players had the cross-platform on. Make sure you do too, Brojack.
Yep.
And I'm going to DM the captain too, just to be sure. Okay, they are going through and checking, so I saw the one pop out. So, assuming that might be them checking. If you are listening right now, player James, thank you as well.
You know, I never actually changed that setting in my own game, so I'm not even sure where you would find it in the menus.
It's buried in there somewhere. I've had it on, or allowed cross-platform forever because of casting, so.
I remember the only time I turned it off was back when I played on PS4. And I was trying to be a ones main way back in the day, like 2017. And you got more equal matchups with ones if you didn't have cross-platform on when you were on PlayStation 4. But then there became the issue of not enough players on just PS4 playing ones. So that's why I turned it back on.
Okay. Make sure we said getting folks in. They double checked that they had the cross-platform. Brojack, if it's you, I'm going to be disappointed.
It is. I promise you it is not. I was playing the other night against Cynet players, so I'm assuming it would be in gameplay if it was, right?
Right.
Screen.
That's throwing me off right now, too. Weird. It'd be terrible if it's for me. Well, I gotta check in that too. We might have to remake the lobby. We've had a couple of issues with with lobby stuff in game. I am gonna triple check that it's mine. It would be really weird, because I have cross-platform on. Daniel, all right, I'm gonna make a new lobby. Cool. I'll let the captain know, so we are going to get a new lobby up, and I'll have new information out in the Discord.
Should leave match.
Yep, leave match. Well, thank you for the patience in chat as well. I'm going to triple check my settings. I'm like, yeah, I have cross-platform play checked. Bro, check, now it's your time. You can change something and pretend it never happened.
I'm clicking a button, but nothing is happening.
It should be
Let
checked.
me restart my Rocket League. Actually,
Oh, that might actually be hilarious. That might be hilarious.
I swear on my casting career that I have never touched that button, but it was not clicked. There was no check mark there, so it might have been me. But again, on my casting career, I have never clicked that button.
Oh my, that is going to be hilarious.
So let me restart Rocket League.
Oh my, Chad,
It's funny because the last ranked game I had, my solo queue teammate was like, said something in chat to the opponents. And I was like, their console, they can't read it. So I know it's been checked. Oh, it's okay, Brojack production. And I'm not even running production.
That's true, this is my channel. You're throwing my content. All right, chat, we'll get this going here. We still have a couple of minutes left on the predictions as well. If you want to get involved, we'll get the players back up. We'll get Brojack to fix his. So this is why he doesn't get invited here.
This is why it took me 6 months.
That's true. It didn't take that long. But
okay, look. So I restarted my Rocket League and the check mark is there.
Okay.
So it was something with Rocket League, I guess.
It could be. I mean, there's been issues with a lot of stuff throughout the evening, so.
Very interesting. The good old-fashioned tech advice. If it's not working, just turn it off and turn it back on.
Yep. We'll see if we can get both teams in as well. Brojack, you're in the party, so we can get you in game.
Oh, yep.
If you don't continue to undercut me.
Here we go. We are joining on my end.
But hopefully that works. And again, thank you for the patience, everyone. There's been a couple of weird hiccups that I've just seen through stuff. Even I've had like trying to like pull information from a couple different websites just for like a reference material, and I've had not even specifically IGL, but just other stuff across the board, and it's been really weird today. Let's see. If we continue to have issues, I might invite the captain to party and then, or like add them as a friend and then invite them, so we can get this going.
Solid idea. While we're on the topic of NA production and all of that, I have a question for you, Gator. Have you ever done a James bot?
I have joining a team.
Yes.
I have, yes.
Oh, okay. I'm not alone. And neither is James bot. That spectate button could be a little bit further away from the join team button.
So we are, it could be. Yeah, I fully agree with that. It's still having a couple of hiccups with getting into the party. Or getting into the lobby, my apologies. We are... Yeah, this is just really weird overall. So we're going to try to get them in. I'm going to try to invite one of them, get like friend added and get them into the lobby that way.
And yours was checked, right, Gator?
Yes.
Okay.
At least we got music in the background. We can vibe just that a little bit. Let's see if we can get this going. It wouldn't be the first week of the season without hiccups, right?
It's not one of their. Well, no, I'm assuming if they're asking. Excuse me, then they probably have a console player.
Mm-hmm. Got them in. See if we can get them. We got the teammate in.
Okay.
To join party. Cool. Obviously hoping that we get this figured out. This hiccups happen, especially anything online, to be honest, chat. There are definite advantages to playing online. So everybody can connect here. Brojack is hundreds of miles away from me, and I'm right here. Everything revolves around me. But being able to connect that way works out fairly well. Let's see. We're trying to work to get them in. We're in open communication too, which is huge. Normally at this time, if there had been like silence, nothing, and we hit this point, then it would be a forfeit due to a no-show. But we're in communication. We're gonna look to get the series going.
Yeah, and especially when it's a situation where it's clearly out of the player's hands. It's not
Right.
Like you say, Gator. They haven't no-showed. They're not dropping a forfeit at the last minute. They're trying to make the time.
Right.
It
Cool.
always
So
goes a long way.
we are going to. You and I can leave the party, leave the match, not the party. I'm going to make a new lobby and make sure that we can get them into it, and then everything should be good here. Make them leave, yeah.
Natty.
So we're gonna double check. This is odd. And I'm gonna triple check my settings just because things are fickle, and I would just feel awful. Yep, cross-port. Okay. So to even be in this party, we have to be cross-platform.
Yep. And mine is on.
Mine is also on.
So we're good. We're golden on that end.
We got a black screen, so. Ah, jeez.
I wonder if their console has an update.
I wonder. It could also be.
Let me see.
I'm gonna get these chats opened up. Make sure the game timed out because black screen is always perfect. See if we can get a new one. This lobby pulled up. Let's see if you guys get pulled into it. This is Brojack. See if we can get players in. And there we go. Cool. So we are starting to get them.
Okay.
Cool. Now I will DM the info to the other team.
Good thinking on the workaround, Gator. I'm not positive I would have thought of that. I probably would have started sweating and start panicking.
And it's all good. Stuff happens on production end. So we do have one of the teams in. And like I said, the big thing is the communication, being able to work through it, and that kind of thing. So we'll get we'll look to get the other squad back in now. We'll continue
Look at
to
that.
get it going.
Flying Narwhal and Porcupine Duck have the old SNRF tag still.
That's true.
So there you go.
I've DM'd the other captain to look to get this in. We'll try to get Tony's Tigers into the lobby. And they're joining. Cool.
Go.
We got it. Chat, we figured it out. We have defeated technology. All right, there we go. You gotta love tech issues, but we got everybody in. We're gonna be ready here for game number 1. And we will have everybody hop down into the pitch. Thank you so much for the patience. We got it figured out. We got the players in. It is week number 1 of the season. That also means opportunities abound for stuff to happen. Let's be real, Bro Jack. It's not the first time you or I have had any hiccups ever running a production in Rocket League, and we got it figured out and we got it ready to go. Tier 3 2v2 East between Rebirth United and Tony's Tigers. Both squads are looking to start the circuit off to a hot start. Bro Jack, I'm excited to see how it goes.
Ooh.
We're gonna start with a beautiful passing play right away from Rebirth United.
You know, just after that first play, I think I got a flashback to casting SNRF in the past. And if these two players continue to play like this, which is how they used to play, I think it's going to be a very explosive match. Just 100%.
Oh, I fully believe it. They look like they have some solid chemistry here, and you get that challenge as well. Porcupine Duck. Interesting portmanteau of critters. We'll put one on the board. Another goal early for Rebirth United. I'll turn the volume of my game up a little bit.
It was just a clean breakaway as well. Drinking, nothing he could do about it. Fortunate. Now he's gonna look to retreat and take time where he can. Pauses for Porcupine Duck, realizes he's beat. The good save.
There, James getting a great challenge to send it out of the back wall as well. Rebirth United taking an opportunity back in their own defense, drinking out of the back wall, forcing Porcupine Duck to keep it a little low. Tony's Tigers still looking for that first goal. They've spent quite a bit of time back on offense, but still early here in game 1.
Yeah, Tony's Tigers starting to get that offensive pressure built up. We did see a couple of bumps coming out here. It's going to put Rebirth in an awkward position. Hopefully they can capitalize and even out the scoreline as the clock continues to tick down. Fine Duck does get it out of the blue half though. Drenkin going to try to send it back that way, and it is up to player James to do so. Flying Narwhal receives on the back wall. Controls it pretty well. Baits in a player, but he is beat. Oh, that's a good clear though. It's straight down to Flying Narwhal as well. Shot just off the mark, and player James saves it away.
Tony's Tigers looking a little bit steadier on defense after the hot start from Rebirth United. They made some forays up into offense as well. Drinking, looking for the timing off Porcupine's touch. Flying Narwhal, true to form, willing to elevate up early to try to get that touch. Tony's Tigers looking to bring us some of that aggression from the jungle. Try to get past Rebirth, but Porcupine Duck doing very well there. Flying Narwhal off the back wall. Drinkin will come out of net to pick up the save, send it back over to the corner. Tony's Tigers still looking to get goal number 1 here. So we're about halfway through game number 1. Rebirth United scoring very quickly twice. Haven't been able to find it since. As Tony's Tigers have started to find a bit more steady ground.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Rebirth was also low on boost there, but Tony's Tigers was starting to get dangerously low. I think maybe if Rebirth United had pressed a little bit harder, there was a chance they could have got a third goal. But they are 2 goals up. There's no real need for them to press, so long as they continue to play it safe. But player James, he says, what is safe? I'm in your face.
It was a very quick turn upfield as he was in position to rotate back to that midfield positioning. He'll turn up and he'll get that pass from Drenkin. Exemplary example of the teamwork coming out from Tony's Tigers, not just on the game, but also in the cards. They're rocking team uniforms. You'll love to see it. I legitimately love to see team uniforms in IGL. Just any team, really. And these two, very clever one. I like the stripes.
Pressure opens up at midfield for Tony's Tigers. We're still trying to get solid possession of it as a big miss does come out. Player James gets one overflying Narwhal as well. Pops it out mid for Drenkin. Ball does get saved to the corner. Minute and a half to go. Gator, it's getting close. One goal separates these two teams here in game one.
So far, Tony's Tigers, they've done better when they get a little bit more aggressive. They close out Rebirth United. This might be a huge demo there from Flying Narwhal to take out player James. This Porcupine Duck will come around that side as well. This is going to be on target, close but no cigar. Drinking with the clear out. Gets past Porcupine as well, needs to get past Flying Narwhal. Player James won't be able to make contact. And a couple of ring around the rosies. This Porcupine Duck will find the pocket full of posies and put Rebirth United up too.
Yeah, that all started with that huge demo from Porcupine Duck down in the orange box. They just opened up so much space and really put on the pressure. And yeah, the rest is history.
Still a minute and change here in game one. Porcupine Duck looking to try to make it more uncomfortable for Tony Tigers, who love all of the animals in the lobby. And player James, also very solid. Drinking, if you're named after an animal, respect. I don't know what it is, but you are part of Tony's Tigers, so kudos to that. As this orange duo looking to try to cut the deficit back to one. Player James with the fake of the first game. And Drinking more than happy to scoop it up to bring us back to that solo goal.
Yeah, James absolutely could have taken that if he wanted, but I think the safer option was to fake it down rather than risk pancaking it against the crossbar and sending it back out mid for a clear. Good job on him and Drinking with the follow-up as well. Uh-oh, a little confusion here at the near post. Porcupine Duck's going to look to pile on the pressure here in the final 30 seconds. It is still a one-goal lead. They don't have to press, but they still have to play safe. We saw what happened last time they tried to play a little too safe. They got scored on.
Let's come to the final 10 seconds. Player James sending it up to the midfield line. We'll get it past Porcupine. Flying Narwhal to the corner. Drinking continuing through final 5. Drinking looking for the bump. Narwhal will get the clear out. Porcupine keeps it alive. Gets demoed. Player James with the doink. Narwhal more than happy to back off, but player James sets up the dribble, gets the midfield pass over to Drinking. This one might be a touch out of reach, and the full pitch of play nearly there, but could not quite get there for Tony's Tigers. A valiant pushback at the end. Rebirth United take game number 1.
That 0-second volley shows so much promise to me. Tony's Tigers able to keep it within 1 goal, and at the very end, when the clock was down to 0, no time left. If the ball touches, it's over. They got it all the way in towards the blue corner. If they just had a little bit more boost, they probably could have done a lot more with it. If I'm Rebirth United right now, I'm keeping that in mind.
Oh, absolutely. And it's not just that threatening attempt there at the end of the game, but it also showcases a little bit of what Tony's Tigers can do when they have that bit of space, even just a low amount of boost. They can take it quite a way down the pitch. So like you said, it gives a little bit of a glimpse into what their capabilities are. They dropped game number 1. They had 4 shots on compared to the 10 of Rebirth United. They also had 4 saves. They had decent rotations. They had decent positioning. And once they got settled into it, they started pushing back quite a bit more as the game went.
So if you're Tony's Tigers, Gator, in your opinion, how do you start game 2? What's the ideal start to game 2?
I mean, scoring on the opening kickoff. Easy. No, but come out aggressive. You got the Tiger. You got the loudest roar of I almost joined Tony's Tiger. My mouse slipped. That was, ooh, I almost pulled the chain spot. But come out aggressive. Close the gap. When you've had these a bit more of ego challenges, they worked out in game number 1. They just started with that deficit and they made it uncomfortable. You guys are the Tigers. You're going against a Narwhal and a Porcupine, and I love just the concept of Narwhals. They're pretty cool. Porcupine Duck, no offense. I grew up in the woods. Porcupines did some damage. So, oofta. And you know what? Narwhal nearly putting one on in defense of their teammate. They got a little bit mad that it came out spicy. But we'll stay scoreless here the first 30 seconds. Like I said, aggression's coming out. Already demo a couple of shots, albeit from Rebirth United.
Yeah, it's a couple of offensive opportunities from both ends, but Rebirth United still getting the upper hand. I think just that little bit more. A couple demos coming out as well. Like you said, the aggression really starting to show. Game 2 in a best of 5 is usually when teams start to settle into their playstyle for the rest of the series. I'm going to be interested to see exactly what that style is for both of these teams.
So I do think it's going to be interesting. I don't know if it'll be too totally different than what we saw at the end of Game 1. Because Rebirth United, they won the game. Why would they change? Tony's Tigers, I mean, they had a great pushback at the end, ultimately falling that touch short. But they also dropped the initial 2 goals in the first 30 seconds and then held their opponents to only 1 goal over the final 4.5 minutes. So, I mean, they also have indications that their playstyle is totally fine. So I do agree, normally Game 2 you start to see the settle in, you start to see it. I would not be surprised if it's not till Game 3 that we start to see a little bit more adjustments compared to what you normally see from like 1 to 2.
Especially with, like you said, how Game 1 went. Oh, the interference there from Drenkin up in the faces of Rebirth United, just trying to get a bump, clear the goal for his teammate. The shot did come through, but so did the clear, and now the counterattack has started, and they're right back into the orange box.
Looking to follow through as well, but Drankin with the pop-up past Porcupine Duck. And he will look to make it happen again. Gets the challenge, does not get the boost. Player James will have a decision to make, and he will come through for the cut. Has time, has the ball, looks to make a back wall play, but a touch out of reach. The boost steal for a bit, a consolation prize. So lob it up onto the back wall. Drinking shot denied. Porcupine Duck with the savior medals. Halftime comes and gone. Rebirth United still left 1-0 in this series, looking to extend it, but Tony's Tigers, they're looking to equalize.
Maybe a little bit of miscommunication here as Tony's Tigers retreated to defense. It looked like Drenkin wanted to get the cut and turn it back up the wall. And his teammate player James just wanted to take it back to his corner, buy themselves some time, get some space. And, you know, sometimes those comms do break down, especially when you're in a stressful situation. Oh, what a beautiful dodge. It's a demo dodge, excuse me. And now the counterattack for Tony's Tigers as well.
Rebirth United did very well there to get that lead out block to try to take Drinkin out of it, but he saw it, he flipped out of the side. Rebirth United, they're still going to be on the attack. They will not have that first goal. They continue to pepper, they continue to push. Tony's Tigers, their defense is staying pretty great so far. They'll need to work it out into the offense. I was debating how long it was going to be before I make that joke. Pulled it out early.
You did, but it was a good time for it. Player James getting a great save here. See, I can do it too. Just over a minute here left in Game 2. Rebirth United, I think if we were to look at the heat map, they've had majority of the pressure here in the final half of this game. But Tony Tigers doing a fantastic job overall, hanging on and just getting the clears when they need to, getting the stops. Like I said, a couple of hairy situations, but they're doing well.
Right now, that's what they've needed to do on the defensive end. Get a couple more forays up into offense. Start making it a bit more threatening when they have the ball. Drinkin will grab boost, goes for the cut past Porcupine. The defense too prickly. Flying Narwhal getting the save and will come upfield to force the early touch. But player James is going to find Porcupine Duck caught in no man's land. And player James more than happy to take advantage. Tony Tigers with the lead, the first goal of Game 2. 23 seconds left from a deep field of play from player James.
So we've seen Rebirth United score quick goals after kickoffs in Game 1. 23 seconds is plenty of time for that type of play, but they cannot waste this opportunity that the kickoff brings.
Did get a favorable challenge, but a deep clear from player James, who stepped up here in the final minute, but 10 seconds left. Flying Narwhal onto the challenge. They'll look to boom this upfield. A powerful touch. Player James takes Porcupine out. It wasn't seen on screen, but absolutely a clutch demo to take away the follow-up opportunity. The bump back in the Rebirth. Have Drinkin lets it hit the ground. That'll send Tony's Tigers to a Game 2 win. And will tie this series up. after a solid bounce back game here in game number 2.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you had said, not too much different from what we saw at the end of game 1. I think both teams played very solid overall. Just one save separating the two teams, and obviously just one goal here in game 2 separating the two teams as well. So I think if I'm Rebirth United, I think I'm going to start trying to make my shots more creative, because a lot of them were just on target, easily savable. That's not always a bad thing. You want the high percentage shots, but you don't want them to be so easily read. That's what I wanted to say.
I'd agree with that. That's true. Sarv coming in saying, Gator and Horsecast. My day is complete. Sarv, I'm glad that we could be here to provide that bit of that linchpin. So I'm sure you do you do enough and you do everything in your day-to-day to have great days on your own, but I'm glad that we could help contribute at the end. So coming to game number 3 between Rebirth United and Tony's Tigers. Bounce back in game 2 by Tony's. Rebirth United, they showed in game number 1 they can score quick, they can put the pressure on, they can make it difficult for their opponents. They're gonna have to do it again after being held scoreless in game 2. See if they have the opportunity to do so, as the striped duo have equalized.
Already pressure off the bat here for Tony's Tigers. You need to be careful and not give up too much space. Rebirth United will be more than happy to take it as the ball goes out center. Porcupine Duck hitting it off the back wall and right past Drenkin. An early goal here for Rebirth United.
He's going to get the bounce or a bounce shot, which I like to talk about. You see Porcupine elevating there, and you're thinking, cool, upper left, it's going upper 90. But no, he hits the bounce, he drops it right in front of the defender, and it gives just that moment's hesitation on where it's going to go, and then it pops up over the top. Rebirth United strike first, they're looking to strike second. Narwhal does not have the notorious horn, will not be able to prick that one up from the side. Although it is a 2, it's not a horn, so, you know, it's a little...
That's true. Can you imagine if Toppers actually had their own hitbox as well?
Oh,
huge demo!
We're not going to talk about hitboxes, we're going to talk about hitting the opponent with a great follow through. Porcupine Duck was like, no. We're not going to talk about narwhals, we're going to talk about the Porcupine. Duck's also aggressive, but Porcupine Duck, throw him in, throw in the defense of the quills, throw in the aggression, and throw up that 2-0 lead for Rebirth United. Tony's Tigers come roaring back with Player James off the kickoff. As soon as you glance away, as soon as you go for a drink of water, 2 goals scored back to back.
And that is such an important goal here for Tony's Tigers as well. In game 1, it took them a little bit to get that first goal, to cut the lead down to 1. Here they got it right back immediately, and they have 4 minutes and 12 seconds still on the clock. So plenty of time here for plenty more goals.
We'll be looking to do so as well. It's Porcupine getting stripped off by Drinkin, going for that quick cut into the corner, the pop out over to Player James. Flying Narwhal will take the skies, gets a deep clear downfield to the orange zone. Porcupine, solid touch, put it on target. Player James gets the save, but a heavy one. Flying Narwhal sending it back. Rebirth United to look to set up some offensive rotations. Tony's Tigers will look to try to get out of the zone. To the demo may do it. Porcupine Duck, awkward, getting just beaten up by Drinkin. But he will get the boost. He'll keep Drinkin just that little bit thirsty. Tony's Tigers up on the attack, trying to work their way through, but Rebirth United is going to turn this back. Oh, nearly there for Flying Narwhal. This Porcupine trying to throw it out. Player James scoops it up. And the frenetic activity finally goes into one of the nets, one way or another, and it will be into the blue. Player James popping it up. It'll fly through to celebrate as well. Equalizer scored. Still 3 minutes left in game 2.
Yeah, once again, that goal is so important for Tony's Tigers. Now they buy themselves 3 minutes to get the lead. They're no longer playing from behind, and they can just focus on doing what they need to do to win rather than to stop losing. Pass upfield, cut off by Player James. This might be it. It's another breakaway, stopped by Flying Narwhal though. Low boost on the back wall, now over to the sidewall. Beautiful control from him on the sidewall with low boost. That's such a hard dribble to get, and He's got it bounced out mid as well. Fine Duck now, low boost for him. Just trying to hang on to possession here, buy his teammate some time.
A couple of touches there from Tony's Tigers that actually worked out well in their favor. Normally you wouldn't advise to go for it, you know, kind of putting it back towards the mid in front of their net, but it kept it away from the opponents. That's what's allowed them to hold on to this possession so long, albeit in their own half. They kind of played keep away as they worked their way upfield. This player James in a brief 2v1, still trying to make magic work. And Drankin will come in with relief. Porcupine Duck back in the net, has to dodge the demo. Flying Narwhal doing very well to put it onto the back wall to keep it away from the follow-up shot.
You had mentioned last game as well that the ego challenges had been working out for Tony's Tigers, and starting to see a few more of them here as this third game develops as well. A couple of quick challenges when really, as a attacker, you would not expect to be challenged.
I do think those are, especially in the, when I say lower ranks, I do mean like up to like tier 2, honestly, up to tier 3. So ego challenges work out really well because people, especially when you start getting into like the IGL matchups, they start thinking so much and trying to be cerebral about it that they overthink it. So when you throw off a challenge like that, it's showing confidence and it's throwing off the rhythm of what quote unquote is supposed to be happening, end quote. So when you go in for those challenges, even if it's not beneficial, you get just that moment where you threw the opponent off guard and they have to try to respond.
Right, and you see that happen a lot in 1v1 as well. Not to take away from the 2v2 going on right now, but in 1v1, in my opinion, there's two main playstyles. There's go fast, challenge everything, and take your time and don't let go of the ball. In those two playstyles, when they're matched up against each other, they don't really mesh well for much of the same reason that you were just saying about this 2v2 matchup. Oh, it's off the post. Drenkin needed that one as we approach the final 30 seconds here in game 3.
Brojack, I try to go for the challenge everything and never control the ball or control the challenges. I see the ball, I want the ball. Didn't Ariana Grande have a hit song about I see it, I want it, I like it, I got it? You can catch me, Heartstuck Champ 2.
Final 10 seconds, this looks like it.
Need to catch a Drinking, getting the goal ahead, a goal, 7 seconds left. Player James putting it onto the back wall, finding the real estate. Porcupine Duck trying to get the scoop from underneath. Will be unable to make contact. Tony's Tigers, 1-goal lead, 7 seconds left as they look to move up 2-1 in the series. Not if Porcupine Duck has anything to say about it. Elevating is going to leave it down. Flying Narwhal coming through the double commit on defense, but with no time left on the clock. Ultimately does not matter. Tony's Tigers move to series point.
That pass from player James, that was a beautiful placement. You know, props to Drenkin for following up and getting the goal. But if player James had hit that anywhere else on that back wall, I don't think that Porcupine Duck would have seen it as threatening as he maybe thought it was, with it going straight towards that upper 90. He had to jump for it. He couldn't let that bounce off the wall. And unfortunately he did. And here we are. Tony's Tigers getting ready. All they need is one more, and that's it.
Rebirth United will, after seeing their opponents bounce back, have an opportunity to bounce back and bring us to game number 5. We've seen Champions Field once tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw it one more time. At least I'd like to see it 2 more times tonight. We only have 3 series to do. My voice is usually good enough that I can do 3 best of 5s that go to 5. I'm okay if they all go to 5. Gigantic returning to find the next Moondog. Well, Gigantic, in any IGL match, you have the opportunity to find all sorts of heroes of various stripes, or quills, or players. They all have the opportunities to pop off at any moment. And Gigantic, if you're looking to start an out-of-nowhere cult following, well, you have the floor to do it. Just don't go too wild in chat. But there it is, Gigantic right there. Porcupine Duck, exactly. Flying Narwhal and Porcupine Duck representing Rebirth United. A duo that took game number 1 3-2, but have been slowed down on offense since. As player James and Drenkin have come roaring back as Tony's Tigers. now sitting on a series point.
I like this thing.
Looking to take home their week 1 victory in 4 games. Rebirth United will look to try to extend it to 5. Frostbite, thank you for the follow as well. Chat, we are very close to 800, which is just a wild number to me. I'm going to be honest.
It is so deserved, Gator.
Appreciate it. The final minute, the first minute of game number 4. Still scoreless, both these squads looking to fight back and forth. Been fairly balanced. Haven't seen too terribly extended possession, but player James, you know, had calculated or not, dropped the calculated in chat. You deserve it. Throw the defense off guard. This flying narwhal was coming in underneath. Porcupine couldn't quite get there. Player James with the pop up from the bottom of the Fennec. I'll put Tony's Tigers on the board first.
That was a very well-placed shot. Very well done mechanically as well, using the tires and the underside of the car to get the softest hit possible. Yeah, things you love to see.
You know, the change-up works. The bounce shots work, the change-up shots work. It throws the defense awkward. Rebirth United will need to get past that Tony's Tigers defense.
That's a good pass out.
Nearly there. Player James setting up the dribble. Tony's Tigers have done a decent amount of work on the ground this series. Porcupine Duck taking drinking out of it and gets immediately demoed himself. Player James coming in upset, trying to get it, but this might be it. That was a great shot coming in from Narwhal. Takes James out as well. Suddenly, Fast and Furious demos galore. Flying Narwhal starts to soar, puts the shot on upper 90. Flying Narwhal, get it, we'll call your name. My goodness. What a beautiful placement. Player James, honestly in the right position in the far post, but put right out of reach by Narwhal.
We started to see more demos as this game has gone on as well. I'd love to see that ramp up. Gator, I know you're a big fan of demos
big
as
demo
well.
Fan.
But it's definitely starting to work for both of these teams. This time Rebirth United getting the better of it. All of that chaos from the demos beforehand leading up to that goal.
Drankin trying to set up that passing play, but Rebirth United bringing it back to the orange half. Drankin low on boost, looking to bring it across midfield as well. Flying Narwhal avoids the bump. Player James deep boom downfield. This is going to be uncomfortable for Porcupine onto the back wall. Player James follows through. Tony's Tigers retake the lead just past halftime.
Solid long shot. Those are some of my favorite shots as well. You just get the power on it, you get the accuracy, and usually you catch the opponents out.
The defense was there. They needed to come in and make it play off the back wall. Easier said than done. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, Porcupine! What a way to come back! Why not get the read on the way back down? Doesn't need the back wall. Player James looking to get that clear, but a touch too far upfield. And Porcupine Duck tying us up. And again, goals galore starting to come out in this game.
It's over 2 minutes here. Tony's Tigers, they had a chance to hang on to the lead, but Flying Narwhal wants none of that. He wants a game 5.
Absolutely, and you're seeing both squads offensively taking advantage of the back wall, defensively not as much, which is kind of interesting. When they've been using it, you know that it's threatening because it's worked for you. Rebirth United doing exactly what James had done previously, lobbing it up onto the back wall. And going ahead and getting the follow-up. Flying Narwhal will come through. He needs to scoop it up and needs to get back with possession. And he'll get the cut. Flying Narwhal. And Rebirth United starting to put on a show in the last minute.
Flying Narwhal had been without boost since he made that initial save. And he just managed to stay with it the entire way, including dodging the defender as he came through looking for that demo and or block, and it just worked out so perfectly for him. And now a 2-goal lead with just over 90 seconds to go. This might be their chance to secure the game 5, Gator.
Absolutely. Rebirth United, true to name, getting the passes, rebirthing onto this series. They're taking to this. The only thing more fitting would be if they had like Phoenix in there somewhere, because they are taking the aerial plays, they're lobbing it up. They're getting over the heads of the defense. Drankin gets the bump onto the defense. Player James puts the shot and sneaks it past 3 players. 1:13 left on the clock. Back within a 1 goal. As Drankin gets 1 bump. He tries to get a second, but he throws off the defense enough to open it up.
Yeah, and here we go. One more time, Gator. We have a 1-goal lead. And just over a minute to go.
60 seconds and a change. Tony's Tigers are looking to make up that bit of change. So they are fighting from that deficit, but pinned into their own half. They'll have to set up a couple of dribbles, have to work it through. Drinking one-on-one, flying Narwhal comes back through. He's gonna get the save, but it will be too far out. Player James looking to pop it up with an aerial, and Porcupine Duck will send it back out to the midfield. As Tony's Tigers are looking to leap up and try to get that equalizer. Drinking low boost. This might drop low enough. But it will go to the other corner. James gets the boost steal. Starves out the opponents. 30 seconds left. Brojack, Tony's Tigers are pushing.
Yes, they are, and they're using each other to do it as well. Oh no! Looked like maybe an own goal there. Now player James, 20 seconds to go. He has to keep this on the blue side of the field. They cannot take the time to send it over to the orange and recollect, but that looks like what Porcupine Duck is going to do. Just a loose save. Less than 10 seconds now. Player James trying to pass out to his teammate Drenkin. Oh, he can't get control of it though. And with that, it looks like Rebirth United have taken game 4.
Game 4 and Brojack, you know what that means. Chat, you know what that means. That means we're going to go to game number 5. We're going to Champions Field. We've seen it once before tonight in the process of nearly a reverse sweep. In this case, will not have any brooms involved one way or the other. Game 5, both squads showing they have what it takes to win, showing that they deserve to take the dub here in week number 1 of the Indy Gaming League Spring Circuit 2022. They will have 5 more minutes of regulation to try to prove why they deserve it more than the others. Everybody here deserves to win. Let's be real. I want to be positive. That's not what the game says. Game says somebody wins and somebody goes home, and everybody's in their teams. Everybody's on the pitch. And game number 5 is set to kick off. Rebirth United, Tony's Tigers, game 5 in week 1. They both trying to move to 1-0 on the season.
This is what I like about IGL is you always have these such close matchups. It's so rarely a sweep. And, you know, as a fan of Rocket League, you can't get anything better than every series going to game 5.
So I'll argue that. I've been swept many times while playing in Indy Gaming League. Well, that's a me problem, so we're not going to talk about that. About these squads, like I said, they've found the ways to do it. Tony's Tigers, with the aggression, have taken advantage a couple of times. Rebirth United, when they've taken to the skies and started getting that aerial play involved, have done a little bit better than the Orange duo. We'll find out who is going to take the advantage. First minute nearly gone. Already a couple of demos coming out from Tony's Tigers. As they look to establish that aggressive pace early. Player James is going to get the read in the midfield. And Player James puts Tony's Tigers up 60 seconds in.
You know, this goal kind of contradicts what I was about to say about Tony Tigers' strategy and their playstyle so far. I was going to say that they look best when they start to dribble the ball upfield and take control of it. But yeah, Player James just beating the defender in the air, and for Rebirth United, that's their territory. We'll have to see if they can bounce back, but Player James already getting another one. Quick succession here.
It's a solid shot there as well. You can see Drankin coming up on it, and as soon as the wheels touch ground, throws it into reverse. There is no risking getting involved in it. He sees it coming on target. 8 seconds after the first goal, and another one in for Tony's Tigers. Rebirth United will fight back from that early deficit. Flying Narwhal picking up the save. Trying to bring it out of their own zone, but the pop down will be dangerous. Player James couldn't quite get it on target. It will lead to the... Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, Gator. Go ahead.
I had a hiccup, and I was like covering it from the mic.
I was going to mention we're starting to see the confidence build, but maybe that will take a ding to it here as Flying Narwhal does secure one for Rebirth United. Tony's Tigers had started to pick up the pace. It's good to see for Rebirth United that they can match that pace and still score as well.
Flying Narwhal just in front, or just, I should say, inside of that near side post. Keep it out of the hands of the defense. Porcupine Duck getting involved on the defense. Rebirth United looking to get the equalizer. Getting closer and closer to 2 minutes burned here in game number 5. Porcupine Duck wrapping around. We'll pick up the boost as well. Looking for the challenge here. Player James popping it up onto the ceiling. Flying Narwhal will send this back down over to the orange zone. Looking for the bump in net too. That one I legitimately love to see. You know, lost control of it. It was a heavy touch, but he just sets his sights on the defense. He says, you know what? I can do a little bit more. And it starts to set up this extended offense from Rebirth United. Only been stymied by the defense of Tony's Tigers.
No, here's another chance though, but Porcupine Duck just overshooting the read, and player James having a much better vision on where the ball was going to go. That big demo though from Porcupine Duck opens things up. Player James though puts a quick stop to it, puts a shot on target. It's off the back wall though, and Flying Narwhal tries to get the clear downfield.
Player James has to take it back to his own corner. His teammate went up on the commit trying to get the shot on. Flying Narwhal was trying to put one on as well, but Drinkin back in time picks up the save. He'll hold on to the 2-1 lead. Porcupine Duck, quick turn, sets up the pop. But the demo, player James taking on Narwhal. That's going to set a transition back. Player James looking for another one. Narwhal up with the save. And suddenly everybody elevating, everybody's up, everybody doing what they can to keep it out of net. As this is getting frenetic, this is getting faster and faster.
The monster flick, but Porcupine Duck unable to be there for his teammate. He was being hunted down. And now Porcupine Duck throwing a shot on target, but it is saved away. Player James having to dodge Porcupine Duck this time, who does get a stop at midfield where the ball will bounce a couple of times before Porcupine Duck does come back in to continue the attack for Rebirth United.
Porcupine Duck is the epitome of ego challenging right now. It's not even ball chasing because they're legitimate challenges. It's keeping Tony's Tigers thrown off guard for the moment. Flying Narwhal will be forced up into the air to try to get that save off. Porcupine waiting for player James' touch. And he will bait him out into a bit of an awkward one. Drinkin has to get back, drops it down mid. Porcupine Duck, this one's going to be high out of the back wall. Will there be a follow-up? He misses, but Flying Narwhal also miss. Tony's Tigers will look to take advantage as they'll scoop up the midfield boost. Porcupine Duck, zero boost, doesn't care. The Flying Narwhal coming through as well. Final 50 seconds. As the Rebirth United, they're fighting. They want it so bad. They're getting the flicks. They're getting the mechanics. So the final touch has eluded them. Porcupine Duck saved by player James. This Project final 35 seconds. Rebirth United, they're blowing down the door. But the foundation to continue to stand.
It has been so close. That might be the challenge. Player James is going to need a good one here. It's going to bounce off the sidewall. Porcupine Duck is up, but can't quite find the read. In the final 16 seconds here, Flying Narwhal, he's going to bounce it off the back wall. Looks for the bump, and Porcupine Duck waiting back at midfield does get a good stop. Flying Narwhal unable to continue the attack, and no boost for Porcupine Duck. Gonna be close. They have to keep it in the air.
Porcupine Duck will back pass it to the mid. There's a will drop to the ground. Tony's Tigers in a frenetic final game will take the series in 5. A fantastically fought series. Kudos and hats off to everybody involved. Beautifully fought matchup between these two squads, ultimately going the way of Tony's Tigers. But that is not to say that Rebirth United did not deserve to be here. Also, yeah, super hard fought match. I'm very excited. Again, I say this a lot, but I'm excited to see where these teams go throughout the circuit.
You know, maybe it's a little bit too early prediction, but I would not be surprised to see both of these teams at least make the semis. I'd have to see the rest of the division, but for tier 3, I think at least the semis at minimum.
I could see there was enough of the chemistry there that a couple of things to iron up, maybe a couple of hiccups from time to time. We do have the VOD, you do have the replay that'll go up on YouTube. No, I think it's totally doable to get to to the semis for both these squads. But we do have another match coming up in just a couple of minutes. Before we go, the captains of the previous series, you will have an opportunity to leave reviews. You'll get an email from Indy Gaming League. If you could take the time to fill that out, it would be massively appreciated. That I can try to get better a little bit here and there in ways that I can. Not saying that I always can, but I'll do what I can. I'll even pass it along to Brojack.